Hi crafty peeps, it's me Mary, and today I'm here to show you my newest patriotic journal. Just to get started here, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow my channel. Thank you so much again, and let's go ahead and get started with this. So I made my patriotic journal and I think it turned out great, but I did make a couple mistakes in this one, and so I'm going to keep it for myself, and you'll see why in a minute. I'll tell you a little bit more about why I'm going to keep it for myself, but I wasn't really going to show it on my channel, but my crafty friends really encouraged me to, and I just think that that was so nice of them, and now I have the confidence to show you guys on my channel. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the tassel first. So I made it out of that vintage hair ribbon, as you can see here, red, white, and blue. And then I put lots of like beads and charms. I got a star, this really pretty daisy bead that I got from Hobby Lobby here. Looks like a firework to me. So I put it on there, some cotton candy, cherries. I put this like flag star on there. I thought that was cool. I got Lady Liberty. I've got these red and blue glasses that I got a long time ago, and I finally got to use them, so I was excited about that. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off so I can show you a little bit closer. I got the red, white, and blue lollipop on there, and I put a 2026. But there's just so many charms and beads on here. It's pretty crazy. I love how chunky it is. So I really love how it turned out. I put the bells at the top. I thought that was fun. So I did that. And I'll just put that off to the side here. And then for the book, I'm trying to think. I don't remember the measurements or anything of it. So I'll grab that here. The book is about 8 3/4 by about 5, with a chunky 2 3/4 inch spine, almost 3 inches. And as you can see, it's a gator mouth here. So I love making journals with gator mouths. You know, I always start off saying it's not going to be a gator mouth. I'm not going to put that much in it. And by the end, the thing is like overflowing. So it's not intentional. I end up liking them better that way. So anyway, I did distress some ephemera for the front, put a Denison label on here, a couple of them actually. And this book is actually from an online sale, and I was really excited to pick this one up from Khadijah. And then I also got the fabric from her, I believe, or the fabric might have been from Katie's Tribe of 5. I can't remember, but either way, love it. And then on the back here, I got some more ephemera, and I put some stickles on there on the fireworks. And then I put these beads on the middle of the signature, just some little seed beads and some crystals. So I think that turned out nice. Then I did put some seam binding. Oh, this is sari silk, not seam binding, on the closure. So let's go ahead and get into this. So in the cover here, I have some vintage yo-yos and this nice like diagonal pocket. I have this really neat piece of ephemera from Crafty Lisa's Vintage, proper display of the flag. And so this is pretty cool. I had to include that. And then I'm always going to include one of these clovers in my journals. I love the 4-leaf clover, and I just think it's really cool. So that's sort of going to be my signature from now on in my journals. I put this playing card, this George Washington card, and this is part of a letter that I received from West Point when I was admitted to West Point Military Academy. I don't know if you guys know what West Point is, but a lot of our presidents went there. And it's a college that you go to right outside of high school. So I was lucky enough to get into West Point, and I'm very proud of that. So I just documented some of that experience in this journal. and that's why I decided to keep it for my West Point memories. And so here I have a club soda label, and behind that I have my West Point admissions letter. And so that's really special to me. And then here I have some 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. I stamped that out. And then I've got this acetate pocket with some vintage sewing pattern ladies on there. And I laminated this postcard. I just thought it went well with the journal. It's from 1908. It was really like crumbling and falling apart, so I thought laminating it would be the best bet. Got this really pretty like patterned coffee dyed paper in there, and then this is from a history book, and so I put that in there. Here's from a book on Washington, D.C., I believe. And this flips out here. Isn't that fun? It's so pretty. It looks like I almost colored this with colored pencils, but I didn't. It was like that. Very pretty. Then you've got the flag paper and this really neat birthday card. It's a military birthday card. It says 3 years old. Happy birthday, and you'll see the other side in a moment. Then I got this really thin, sort of like some kind of engineering paper. It's really neat though. It's got little triangles all over it. And this is from a children's book. It's a poem about July, and this neat ruffle there that I did. Then I did a little side pocket here, and I put this piece of ephemera in there with the eagle and the White House in the background there. And this is from a children's dictionary, and I just sewed that to the side, and you can flip that up if you want. And then I've got this sewing pattern lady here, and I got this 1776 paper from Hobby Lobby. I love this trim. I got it a long time ago. I think it was from Paper Studio back in the day. And then I put a vintage fresh blueberry cobbler recipe card in here in this belly band. And then I stenciled on the back a bunch of stars. Then I've got this vintage fabric here that I made a tab out of. And this is a really pretty like summer image from one of the children's books, and a popcorn bag. And in it I have a couple of tags with some seam binding on it. The Washington Monument, I think this is a postcard. Yep. Doesn't have the date on it though. And I used this vintage George Washington seal on here. I thought that was pretty cool, and some vintage rickrack. Statue of Liberty, and then the other side of that paper, or that book page, flips out. Got George Washington's house at Mount Vernon there. And then I put this piece of ephemera, July 4th, 1776 in there, and I sewed around it. And then I used a lot of these tiny paper clips from Tim Holtz. And I just thought that this was so perfect for the middle of the signature. It's so pretty and bright, these fireworks. And that's where I put the little bead dangles, the seed beads. I made this cool shaker. I thought that was really fun with all the 4th of July red, white, and blue sequins in there. And here's a Rita flip that I actually Velcroed so it would stay down. So that was fun. And then I've got these so that I could put pictures in here. Or I could write, whatever I wanted. And then I got these 2 carnival tickets I stapled onto the popcorn bag. And then this patriotic birthday party recipe card from Betty Crocker. Here's the other side of that summer illustration from the children's book. and another one of my vintage sewing pattern ladies. I just love all the red, white, and blue clothing that they're wearing. And then I've got a vintage paint chip behind it, paint sample card. And this neat fabric pocket with some ephemera on it. And here I have the green room of the White House in Washington, D.C. And this is from 1910. So very cool with a 1-cent stamp on it. I love this trim. I got this from Michaels, I believe. They had it in a bunch of different colors, and I got it in red, white, and blue so that I could put it in my journal. Love that. Another children's illustration. And on the other side is a parade going on. Here's the other side of that military birthday card. And then I edged this with a scallop. More coffee and tea dyed paper. And then this is a piece of ephemera that I put stickles all over to make it really pretty, glittery, and a Yahtzee scorecard there in the side pocket. And then here is another shaker that I made, and I included the green color because a lot of it was that Statue of Liberty green. So I thought that was fun to include. Then on this side I have this large tag where I Mod Podged the sewing pattern paper on the back and then put the sewing pattern cover. I fussy cut that out and put it on top of that. And I think that turned out really cute with the rickrack on the top. Then I've got this little cluster here that I did. This really pretty work basket cover that I got from my friend Tracy at Tracing Dreams. I love milk caps, and I had to include one of them in here, and so I had a perfect one, the blue and red. And then this is also an acetate pocket. I cut out some stars so that you could see through it, and I put a recipe card in there, and then this 4th of July bingo. This is some vintage wrapping paper, and I thought that was really fun with the strawberries, the cherries, and the apple. Here's some more sewing pattern ladies. And I made this into a little like tuck spot or belly band. Flip out. And then I used this Monopoly money in red, white, or in pink, white, and blue to put some cards in between there. So that was a really fun little trick that I did. I thought that turned out really cute. I love, love, love this postcard. This is, I'm trying to think. Do I have the date on here? It's from 1909, and I put some vintage Tim Holtz tape on there. Well, it's not vintage, but it's made to look vintage. Some Tim Holtz tape there because it was actually cracking, and I was afraid that it was going to tear apart. So I just love this postcard, though. That was really fun. See if I can get this back in here. Some more of that engineering paper. This one's a little bit thicker though and less see-through. Here's some white pom-pom trim that I stenciled over here. And here's a hidden journaling belly band. And I learned how to do this from Julie at Jewels of Tyler. Hi Julie, if you're watching. She did this amazing tutorial on these, and I just thought that this was so much fun. You put the seam binding and tie it together, but you can slide things behind here too. But as you can see, you open it up. And did I glue it together, or what did I do here? Yes, I shut it too quickly. But anyway, let me get this undone without ripping it, or I'll try to anyway. I'll have to fix that later. But see, you can flip this out and then journal on it. And so I thought that was such a great idea. I don't know where she came up with that, if it's her own original idea or if she found it on Pinterest, but it's really cool. And then I sewed this envelope in there, and I've got a bingo card and some labels. Another vintage seal. And then I glittered up this with some stickles. This is from Crafty Lisa's Vintage, another like red, white, and blue piece. I stickled this up as well. I thought that was really fun. And then I put a large tag in the pocket there with clouds on it, and then the other side has a fireworks sticker. This is a chunky book, isn't it? It's got a lot in it. And then I got an Abraham Lincoln card. I thought that was really fun. And here is a Black Beauty. I think it's a broom label. I'm not sure though. I can't remember what it was. That's from Crafty Lisa's Vintage as well. I got another sewing pattern lady in there. A pocket made out of the Hobby Lobby paper. And then I've got another vintage postcard of the Congressional Library. This is from 1909 as well. Then I put this little piece of ephemera in the back there as a little surprise when you pull out the postcard. Oh, yes, this pocket also flips up, so there's journaling space. I almost forgot about that. I got a fabric flip here, seersucker fabric, and then some pretty blue stars, another sewing pattern lady. Some more of that wrapping paper, the coffee dyed pattern paper. Then I did this upper tuck, and you've got this from Crafty Lisa's Vintage, and then this little like notepad. Thought this was really fun. Another dictionary cutout. And then on the other side is a little cluster with some ephemera with that pretty Hobby Lobby trim. Oh no, that's Michael's trim. I believe this is from the Work Basket magazine. And then this is a vintage paint sample card. Then I put an envelope back there as well, a red envelope. And then this is really funny. It's called North Pole Party. It's a recipe card by Betty Crocker. And I just did it because it was red, white, and blue and had the flag. And I'm on top of the dangle here. I've sort of moved. I put this pocket here, and it's got some playing cards in it and another postcard. Here's a little cluster that I made with a vintage yo-yo, actually an antique yo-yo. This is the last signature, and I put a little journaling spot there and a little seersucker tab there. And then this is really cool. I had this. It was a children's record sleeve. And so I thought that this was really cool that I even had this. I couldn't believe it when I looked through my record sleeves because I like to use them in my journals, but I was really surprised. And so here I have Dwight D. Eisenhower and another postcard. That really nice textured paper. And then I made this page. This is a shaker page. And I think that Jules of Tyler did a tutorial on this as well. It wasn't stars that she did, but I think she did another shape. But I just did mine in stars, and I thought it was really fun. Some of that Michael's trim. Just some washi tape on the side here. A fabric, I don't know, I just cut out some fabric squares and sewed them onto the paper for some decoration. A doily. This is from an Ideals magazine. This is from a coloring book that I believe I got at Ollie's. And here's a vintage seal. Another piece from that dictionary. And then this was really cute. This is from a little card set that said, all I know I learned from a little golden book, or something like that. So that's really a neat piece of ephemera too. Some stationery. And this is a vintage ideals page of a parade. Then I put a little Viewmaster seal, I mean reel. And this is the inauguration of the president, Dwight D. Eisenhower. So I thought that was super cool. He's one of my favorite presidents. And then I got this July postcard, and this is from, I know it's said on here, Sweden. So I got that in Happy Mail, I believe. And then I got this little receipt that I put in there. I thought that was really fun. The Statue of Liberty coloring page. The other side of that ideals with a ruffle. The other side of the doily. That dictionary again with the stenciling behind it. Another milk cap. I love this one as well. And then I did another Betty Crocker recipe in here. The other side of that record sleeve. Some more pom-pom trim. Some more sewing pattern ladies. And I put a paint sample card behind them and I embossed it, and that turned out really cute too. Then there's the Viewmaster pocket. I put a little cluster on there, and then I put some Monopoly Play Money in there. And then here's the last page. I've got the Kittyland tickets and then another envelope. So yeah, so I did a little cluster on the back cover here, and that's about it. So let me know what you guys think of this journal. I do really love it. I'm really excited about it, and I definitely will be using this for inspiration for future journals because I did a lot of interactive elements in there. So let me know what page was your favorite. I would love to know. And until next time, friends, love ya. Bye-bye.